to thank all of the nationals, peoples, and national concern for today's torch relay. Today marks the first day of the national torch relay, and after my introduction, we'd like to invite Mr. Budo for a first summarization of today's torch relay. Today marks the grand start of the torch relay of Tokyo 2020 Olympic and Paralympic, and we are actually trying to spread the word, to spread the voice to the world. From the knowledge or from the information I got so far, we have postponed the torch relay from the March of 25th last year until today. After 1 year's full preparation, the torch has appeared once again in front of the world. It is like everything is moving again. It also gives me a great joy. The grand start of the torch relay is marking our journey towards the successful opening of Olympics, while the Japanese Olympic Committee is partnering with the prefecture of Fukushima. And for the information of the first day of the torch relay, I have a lot to report to you. First, we started the torch relay the 9th of the 44 of the 9 o'clock today. Today it is reaching the south side of the Toma city. The torch is fine and everything is perfect, with not so much to concern in front of us. We are also going to consider several different factors, including that the torch relay is not only a gather up for people. That's the reason why I believe even at the local place, you might not be able to see the torch. I really want to thank the people from the Fukushima locality for your support. There is not much information. I believe it is going to reach the Fuzawaki city, and we are going to better guide the watching audience. And for the general public, we have a rule that currently we have received 490 people's proposal to be a part of the watching group for the torch relay. The torch relay, the total procedures actually employs around 420 staff. Among the 420 staff, it does not include the local workers from the local prefectures. Tomorrow it is going to start the torch from the prefecture of Soma. We are also going to operate the torch relay based on the principles to prioritize safety and security. It is going to be a journey connecting people across this country. That is my report. Thank you very much for your listening. Thank you very much, General Secretariat. We are sorry that this presser is not going to deliver you any background materials or documents. Now the floor is open to questions and We are going to start the question from journalists on the sites to journalists online. So the floor is open and we will take your questions. I am from the Fukushima News of the Fukushima Prefecture. Definitely, we believe the principle of safety and security. Since we are going to have 100 runners of the torch relay, are there any changes of the torch relay's runner? Before the official opening of the torch relay, we actually included 102 different runners. With the different and ever-changing situation, the two of the runners have given up for different reasons. That is the reason why we finally came up with a number of 100. We have deducted 2 members. I watched the live streaming of today's torch relay. I think that there is a lot of subtle areas that we need to clarify. For example, during the torch relay, people might be getting too close to each other. I have observed that during today's torch relay. So how will the organizing committee respond to that? Just as you have pointed out, there is a lot of audience during the torch relay. Definitely, it is going to be a family event, and it is going to be an event to be watched for friends. And we have proposed the emergency treatment for in front of 3 different scenarios. Definitely, it is going to be a situation where people might get in touch with each other quite closely. We need the support from the local staff, and we really want to thank the support from the local staffs. I believe that during today's torch relay, we have something like a rain down. Why today we have repeated the patterns of such a rain down? Just as you have pointed out. Sometimes there is possibilities of any emergency during the torch relay. We have not clarified the reason yet. Definitely, situation like this happened. Definitely, the fire or the flame that we got from Greece needs the well preservation. But once we have noticed that we have resumed the fire, and I believe nothing particularly happened to the fire. Thank you very much for your answer. Could you provide us another? We are going to provide you another new list of the runners after today's press conference. Mr. Morimotsu, please.
産経の森本です。今のお話で地元の方のご協力があったということなんですけれども。
As you have mentioned that you have got the support from the local staff.
もしあるようだったら広報先導者の方からアナウンスをするっていうようなことも考えられてたと思うんですけども、最初はそれから注意喚起っていう想定をされてたと思うんですが、それを
From the very beginning, did you inform the local street? Are there anything that you have prepared during the torch relay? Definitely, we have confirmed with the close content through the video. We have say hello to a lot of stakeholders. Definitely, for the runners, they are going to experience a lot of risk factors. I hope that all the runners could keep their safety and security during this journey.
原因は究明中として、火が一時うまくいかなくて、消えたりつなげなかったりっていったケースの解決
Definitely, you have not figured out the reason, but during today's running, there's one time the fire has stopped. Can you tell me where did the fire stopped? I think it is the second runner during the third section. Another time of the fire stopped at the fifth session of the fourth runner, but the reason is still under investigation. Thank you very much. Mr. Mayuma, I'm with Asahi News. You have mentioned about the 420 people's crowd. Can you tell me the name list later? Can you give us the name list later? I'm going to report on behalf of the Mr. President. I know that this is a very high-level touch relay. We have planned quite into detail about who is going to be a part of the touch relay. I also believe that everybody is quite concerned with the detailed information of today's touch relay. Are there any other questions from the floor? So far we have received no questions from online. Are there any questions from the floor? It might be. Are there any questions from the floor? I believe that if we can answer one question from the online side, we are going to close today's press conference. Today it marks the first day of the touch relay, and nothing happened. After 1 day of the touch relay, did you notice everything? Are there anything different from your expectations? Which area will you going to prepare for the future? Can you introduce us the good things and the bad things happened today? From the perspective of operation, I believe it is a very smooth touch relay. The time also goes as that we have planned. We get a lot of support from the local people and also the local government. Blessed by everything, we have a very smooth touch relay and successful touch relay. Even I have seen something like this. Definitely there's a lot of things far beyond my expectation, but generally speaking, I would say it is a very successful and smooth touch relay today. The last question is from Tokyo News. with Mr. Halada. I'm sorry, I'm with Japan Television.
はい、今日走らなかった2名に関するご質問なんですが、今日走らなかった2名に関してなぜ走らなかったかというご質問なんですが。
So my question is that why Mr. Nime has not run for the first as the first runner of the touch relay. The cancelment itself, does it mean something? I think it is because of the personal problems or personal issues. I think it is not something that he gave up after a full consideration. So how should I put it? I think he might have some of the problems if he runs, or I think that he might not have the time to be the runner to be the first runner. Although I don't know the reason behind it, but I believe it is because of his personal issue. So I have another question, is that if the touch relay is overlapping the emergency status announced by the different prefectures and autonomous regions, how will we prepare for a situation like this? From today, since we are starting the touch relay, if the touch has entered into certain areas, it is going to follow the local governments and local people's requirement. We are going to give up the grand celebrations. We only celebrate the touch relay. Definitely, we are going to follow the measures for the emergency status. For that special prefecture or for the different autonomous region, I believe that they are going to keep up with their measurement, and in their measurement, in the measures that they keep up, they are going to give us a lot of things to. They are going to list it as something that we could follow. And if the fire has been stopped or flamed down in a certain region, we are going to consider the background information and get a conclusion. Definitely, the local government, when they came up with the state of emergency, I believe that they have their own considerations. I believe it is going to be done one by one, and we are going to talk with the local government for the concrete situation. I think if there is any other question from the floor. So we have 4 questions online, and we are going to invite Mr. Budo to answer the question. The first question is from Tokyo News. From the prefecture of Iwaki to the south, the road for the touch relay is very narrow. It is not suited to room a lot of people. We have got the report about the rules condition, and we have designed 3 different routes, and after a full consideration, we selected that route. Thank you very much. I believe that in the sponsors of the touch relay, I do see some of the DJs who did not wear the medical mask. Do you have something to say to that? How did you prevent something like this happen again? I believe that we have been talking with the local government. It is going to be a joint wish that everybody is going to join our hands together to make this a better world.
南相馬でのセレブレーション会場での密状況については何か報告を受けていますかというご質問です。
Do you have anything to report about the celebration conference room in the Minami Prefecture? I have nothing to report on that gathering up celebration. I got the numbers of the people who gathered up there. I believe everybody is going to be safe after the celebration. So how do you feel the numbers of the audience? Is it larger than you expected, or is it smaller than you expected? Generally speaking, the close content and the close generally speaking, the close content that we have expected has not happened. Everything went quite smoothly today. Definitely, during the running and the touch relay, there's some of the misbehaviors, or some people might move their medical mask down. But generally speaking, the situation itself does not pose any risk. For Mr. Chamajin, the runner, we have prepared some of the plans that avoid their close contact with each other. Since we are going to spread the torch across the country, we're definitely going to adopt countermeasures like this time. This is actually meeting up with the expectations this time for the different places. Just as what we have watched on the TV. The situation is actually better than I expected. However, the torch is going to be relayed at the heart of the Iwaki prefecture, and that is a very densely populated area. But I believe, based on what we have observed today, everything is going to be fine. Thank you. The last question. We do not provide the live streaming signals for the ground start today. So during today's live streaming, NHK do provided some of the assistance. I hope that moving forward, we could get more live streaming from the NHK. But for the celebration, it is not possible for us to provide the images of live streamings of the celebration tonight. But later on, we are going to provide you footages. Thank you very much for your understanding. I believe that we have closed up the Q&A sessions. Thank you very much for your time with us. We are going to conclude today's press conference.